After helping hundreds of guys get in shape, I figured out the system to help you go from feeling and looking like a sack of spuds to being in the best shape of your life. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do if you're in that position right now. Because the reason most guys fail at this is not because of effort, it's because they don't have a system. So let me show you one. Now, don't get me wrong, 10% body fat is a crazy achievement. And some of you guys watching this might not ever get there. Some of you might do, but there's a process to get there that makes it simple. It takes time, it takes structure, and it takes a lot of patience doing things consistently. So what I'll show you in this video is the step-by-step process of what you need to do if you're in that position right now. So let's just say right now you're at that 25-30% bracket. You need to lose your first 5%. You don't need to be focusing on the big Hail Mary of getting to that body fat goal you've always desired. You need to be focusing on the habits which actually just move the needle for you for once. So what we're going to focus on here is a stepping stone system. We're going to focus on your first bit of weight going from 25 to 20% body fat. This is where most guys are at when they first come to me. They're carrying a lot of weight around their stomach, around the gut, around the chest, and around their lower back. Nothing fits like it used to. And the energy is just completely gone and they're tired by mid-afternoon. The goal here is simply just to build better habits to feel better. We're not looking to go for this massive change right now. We're looking just to get some habits in place. And you don't need to be perfect at this stage. You don't suddenly need to go from eating takeaways, not doing any training, not doing any steps to this new routine, which you can't stick at yet. Because going from 25 to 20% body fat is less about the extremes and more about just consistently doing things, even if it's not perfect right now. And this phase is probably going to take about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on where you're at. And by that time, that 6 to 8 weeks has passed, your clothes are going to feel better, your weight would have dropped a significant amount, you're probably picking better food choices, your energy is better than it ever has been, and you're setting yourself up well for that next phase, which is the next stepping stone of going from 20 to 15% body fat. Now, this is where you typically will tighten things up and get a lot more dialed in. Your training is now a non-negotiable for the week. Your nutrition, you're probably hitting 90% of the week on point, and you're very rarely having any off meals. Your steps are now just part of your daily routine. You're going for the same walks at the same time of day, and it's just become something which you can now stick to. And this could be a phase where diet breaks become quite a useful tool. You may have already been dieting now anywhere from the next 10 to 15 weeks, and you're probably ready to actually have a full diet break where you bring your calories back up to maintenance for the full week, ready to go again. You've earned it at this point and you've stuck to it long enough where you can technically reward yourself with a maintenance week. And this is where the real visual change starts. Going from 25 to 20%, visual changes aren't huge. You've lost a good chunk of weight, but you're not seeing much. Going from 20 to 15% like you have now, the visual changes are really starting to happen. You're probably noticing your belly fat is significantly reduced. You might even be noticing things like vascularity is appearing in your forearms or your arms when you're training for the first time in years. And you're just generally feeling the best you have ever felt in a long, long time. Now, going from 15 to 10%, this is where the choice needs to be made if you're ready to just go for it. This is the part where you need to sharpen your tools and everything needs to be spot on. And you're not doing anything really different to what you did back at the start. You might be doing lower calories, you might be doing more steps. You're just spending more time getting there. Your body fat has essentially slowed down. Your weekly weight loss is slowing down, and that's completely normal at this point. You may have spent the first couple of weeks in the diet losing 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds a week. That's now slowed and you might be losing half a pound or a pound, or some weeks you might not have lost anything, but your body looks better. This process requires real dedication and real patience, but the end result is amazing. For the first time ever, you've seen your abs the leanest they've ever been. In the gym, you think that you are completely someone different because you don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. This is the time where you look the best you ever have in your life and you've spent time getting there. There's absolutely no room for winging it when you're going from 15 to 10%, but for a lot of guys, it's very doable. And that phase process of those stepping stones going from 25 to 20, 20 to 15, and 15 to 10, they all set you up for that end goal. And you've now started to become that person that actually has the habits to get there. So the diet to get there is the most important thing. I think that's the biggest lever that you can pull if you're sitting at that 25% bracket right now. And you're going to be thinking of your calories first to be able to do this. A very quick way to figure out your calories is multiply your weight in pounds by 10 to 12. So if you're 200 pounds, 2,000 calories to 2,200. That potentially could be your starting calories depending on how aggressive you want to be. If you want to find this out more exactly, you can go to sites like freedieting.com and then get your maintenance from there and then take off 300 to 500 calories depending on how aggressive you want to be. Or you can use our free guide in the description and it will give you your calories exactly for your body weight. What you got to remember is if you're sat at 25% body fat, going straight to 1,400, 1,500 calories is probably the worst thing that you can do. You're going to take away any chance of keeping any energy ready for training, and it's probably just not going to be enjoyable or something you can stick to. Aggressive diets have their place and they certainly can be used, but they need to be reserved for the right times and right experience as well. And right now, if we're looking at building habits, it's not there yet. So the second thing you need to think about is your protein. This is one thing that you need to think about alongside of your calories. Think of calories as the main building block. The protein is the thing that slots in for it. So essentially you're looking at anywhere between 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So again, if you're 200 pounds, you're looking at somewhere in the region of about 170 to 200 grams of protein for your body weight. Things like carbs and fats, they'll just fit into your life wherever you see best fit. I personally wouldn't bother tracking them. I didn't bother when I did my photo shoot a couple of years ago, getting down to 10%. It was just a process that I actually enjoy following because it meant that I have a lot of flexibility in all of my meals. And if you are going to use a diet break, like I mentioned earlier, all you're going to do here is bring your calories up by around about 400 to 500 from that current amount that you're on, just to give you a break from the diet for a whole week before then dropping back into the deficit. So with the training, you're probably looking here at about 3 to 4 resistance sessions per week. That's it. You don't need to worry about any more than that. You're going to pick exercises you enjoy. You're going to pick exercises that you can progress on a weekly basis and not get bored of. So for example, if you're doing 3 sessions, you might be doing upper, lower, and full body. Or if you're doing 4 sessions, you could do upper, lower, upper, lower. The gym during a fat loss phase is not where you burn your calories, it's where you keep your muscle. This is the important thing that you need to remember. If you'll go into the gym trying to burn as many calories as possible and doing superset after superset and doing cardio after cardio, you could be wasting your time when that could just be spent doing other things like steps, which is easy to do, and just focusing on your nutrition and a bit of meal prep, which helps you stick to your food. Remember, the gym is there to just retain and build muscle. It's not there for you to just go and burn loads of calories. The next thing is, again, your daily steps. Daily steps are the most underrated tool, and most guys completely ignore them. It's not because they're lazy or they don't have the discipline for it. It's because it doesn't actually really make it feel like you're doing much. A lot of guys, especially ones that are heavier, they want to feel like they've trained. They want to feel like they've burnt something, and going for just a leisurely walk doesn't really offer that. But when it comes to losing fat the right way and keeping your hunger low and actually making it sustainable, it's a fantastic tool you can use. Your step goal that you set yourself should just be relevant to where you're currently at right now. So if you're doing 3,000 to 5,000 steps a week on average, you don't suddenly now need to go and do 15 because you're probably not going to be able to stick to that. You would just need to add a couple thousand on each day and then just add that over time and increase as you need to. Whenever I work with guys through the process of losing a lot of fat, it's usually the ones that start off with the step goal that gets gradually higher and higher and higher. So for some guys, for example, if they start on 8K, they might end up at 15,000 a day, but that's what's required for them to get in that position anyway. So it's not like it's going from 0 to 100. So if you're watching this and you're in that range right now, this is the diet that I would follow. Just stepping stones of each little milestone, going from 25 to 20, 20 to 15, 15 to 10, and just gradually doing it from there. You're going to have your diet dialed in, you're going to be hitting your protein and calories, you're going to have your training consistent, hitting 3 to 4 sessions a week, and you're going to be having your step goal. And it's going to start off easy. What you start off with is not what you finish. And that's something to remember, is like things will need to change. You might need to push yourself harder, but it's not about going hard right now. It's about going through that process of gradually doing more so you can see the physique that you finally want to see in the mirror. And again, if you're unsure where to start and you're not sure exactly what body fat you sit at, head to the description in our bio. We'll give you a free training program, free meal plan, your calories and protein all calculated for you, tracking sheets so you can actually log your process, and a step-by-step process so you can start getting in shape today. And again, if you want to subscribe for more content like this, the button's below.